It was raining, the kind of rain that makes the whole city feel different. Quieter, heavier. Like something important is about to happen. Daniel wasn't supposed to be here, not at this hour. Not in this situation, and definitely not carrying his boss in his arms, Her name was Elena Carter, to everyone else. She was untouchable. A powerful CEO, cold, perfect, the kind of woman people were afraid to even look in the eye, but right now, she was barely conscious. Her arms loosely wrapped around his neck. Her breath soft, warm, dangerously close, and Daniel could feel it, every second of it. Careful, he whispered under his breath, adjusting his grip as he stepped out of the elevator into the quiet, dimly lit hallway of her luxury apartment building. Her heels dangled from one hand. Her body leaned into him like she trusted him, like she had no idea what this moment could do to him, or maybe she did. The soft echo of his footsteps bounced off the marble floor as he walked toward her door. The city lights shimmered through the massive windows behind him, mixed with streaks of rain sliding down the glass like silent tears. He stopped in front of her apartment. "Miss Carter." "Elena, we're here," he said gently. No response. Just the faint rhythm of her breathing. He reached into her purse. Hesitating for a second, this already felt like crossing a line, but then found the key card and unlocked the door the moment he stepped inside. Everything changed. The apartment was exactly what you'd expect from someone like her, minimalist, elegant, expensive, but cold, no pictures. No warmth. No signs that anyone actually lived here. Daniel walked slowly toward the bedroom, trying not to think about how close she was, how her bold, elegant dress hugged her figure, how her hair fell softly across her face. He swallowed hard. Just get her to bed and leave, he told himself. That was the plan. Simple, safe, professional, but the moment he laid her down on the bed, that plan started to fall apart. Her hand didn't let go. His wrist froze in her grip, strong enough to stop him. Soft enough to make his heart skip. "Don't," she murmured, her voice barely there. Daniel leaned closer, confused. "Don't what?" he asked quietly, her eyes opened slowly. Not fully, just enough to meet his and for the first time he didn't see a CEO, he didn't see power. He saw something else, something real. "Don't leave me," she whispered. The words hit him harder than he expected, because this wasn't part of her image. This wasn't the woman who walked into boardrooms and controlled everything. This was someone alone, and for a second he didn't know what to do. His mind said leave, but something else, something deeper, told him to stay. He gently tried to pull his hand back again, but her grip tightened. Slightly, not forceful, just enough, please, she added. That one word, it changed everything. Daniel exhaled slowly, running a hand through his hair as he looked around the room. This was dangerous, not physically, but emotionally, professionally. One wrong step, and his entire life could fall apart. But still, he sat down, right there on the edge of the bed. Not too close, but not far enough either. "I'll stay. Just until you fall asleep," he said. Softly, her grip loosened, not completely, just enough to let him breathe. But she didn't let go. Minutes passed. Silence filled the room, the kind of silence that says more than words ever could. Daniel could hear the rain outside, the faint hum of the city, and her breathing slowly becoming steady, but he couldn't relax because he was aware of everything. The warmth of her hands still around his, the way her dress shimmered slightly under the soft lamplight, the way her face, without the usual confidence, looked almost peaceful. Human. And that's what made this so dangerous. Because now he couldn't unsee it. He couldn't go back to pretending she was just his boss after what he saw tonight, after what she said. That wall between them, it was already cracking. Suddenly, she shifted. Her hand tightened again, pulling slightly. "Stay closer," she whispered, eyes still closed. Daniel's heart started racing. "Elena," he said carefully, "you should rest." But she shook her head lightly. "No, just stay." He hesitated. Every instinct told him to create distance, but something about her voice, something about the way she said it, it didn't feel like a command. It felt like a need. Slowly, Carefully, he moved just a little closer, close enough that she could feel he was there, but still trying to hold on to some control, some boundary that was already fading. Her breathing slowed again, her grip softened, but this time she didn't let go at all, and neither did he. Time passed, maybe minutes, maybe hours. He didn't even know anymore because his mind was stuck on one thing: what happens after tonight? Because moments like this, they don't just disappear, they change things, whether you want them to or not. Daniel leaned back slightly in the chair, still holding her hand, staring at the rain outside the window. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something he wasn't prepared for. Not fear. Not pressure. Something else, something deeper, something that didn't belong in a workplace. Connection. Real. Unexpected. Dangerous. And just as his thoughts started to settle, her voice broke the silence. Again, barely above a whisper. Daniel? He looked at her instantly. Yes? Her eyes were still closed, but her words were clear. Promise me, you won't disappear tomorrow. His chest tightened because that wasn't a simple request. That was something bigger. Something that meant she knew this wasn't just a random moment. She knew this could become something else. And maybe she didn't want to lose it. Daniel swallowed hard, then quietly said, I'm not going anywhere. A small, almost invisible smile touched her lips, and just like that, she finally fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. But Daniel? He didn't sleep at all. Because deep down, he knew something had already changed. Something neither of them could undo. And he had no idea that the next morning would change everything even more. If this moment gave you chills, just wait until what happens next, because the next morning, she shows up at his door in tears. And what she says will leave him completely speechless. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because chapter 2 is where everything starts to get even more intense. The clock read 1:17 a.m., but time didn't feel real anymore. Daniel hadn't moved, not from the chair, not from her side. His hand was still gently wrapped in hers. Like if he pulled away now, something fragile would break. The rain hadn't stopped. If anything, it had grown heavier. Louder, almost like the storm outside was trying to match the storm building inside that room. Elena shifted slightly. A soft breath escaped her lips. And then her fingers moved. Not randomly, not unconsciously. Intentionally. Daniel felt it instantly. His body tensed. Elena? He said quietly. Her eyes opened. This time fully. Clear. Focused. No haze. No confusion. No distance. She was awake. And she was looking right at him. I'm not drunk anymore, she said softly. 4 words that changed everything. Daniel straightened slightly, his heart beginning to pound. You should rest, he replied, trying to keep his voice steady, but she didn't respond. Instead, she slowly pushed herself up, her hand still holding his as she sat on the edge of the bed. Her hair fell loosely over her shoulder. Her dress, still elegant, still bold, shifted slightly as she moved, and Daniel? He noticed, even though he tried not to. I didn't imagine it. Did one? She asked quietly. Daniel frowned slightly. Imagine what? Her eyes locked onto his. This, she said, lifting their hands just slightly. The contact between them suddenly felt louder than the storm outside. No, he admitted, you didn't imagine it. Silence followed, but it wasn't empty. It was heavy, filled with everything neither of them had said yet. Elena looked down for a moment, then back at him. Why did you stay? She asked. Daniel didn't answer right away, because the truth was complicated. I told you, he finally said. You needed someone. A small, almost sad smile appeared on her lips. And you're always the one who shows up, aren't you? There was something in her tone. Not teasing, not sarcastic, something deeper, like she had noticed him. Long before tonight, Daniel leaned back slightly. That's my job. She shook her head slowly. No, that's not your job. Her voice softened. That's who you are. The words hit differently than he expected, because no one had ever said that to him before. Not like that. Not With that kind of weight, Elena stood up slowly, and for a moment Daniel forgot how to breathe. The room wasn't bright, just a soft, warm lamp casting shadows across the walls, but it was enough to see the way her silhouette moved, the way her presence filled the space. The way she wasn't trying to hide anymore. She took a step toward him. Then another. Each step deliberate. Controlled. Dangerous. Double quotes Elena. He started standing up quickly, but she didn't stop. She closed the distance between them until there was barely space left to breathe. "Do you ever think about me?" she asked. Her voice was low. Not weak. Not uncertain. Just honest. Daniel's chest tightened because that question, it didn't belong in this room. It didn't belong between a boss and an employee, but here it was, and there was no escaping it. He could lie. Say no, walk away, pretend this moment never happened, but something in her eyes didn't want to lie. So he didn't give her one. Yes, he said. The word came out quieter than he expected, but it was enough. Her expression shifted. Not surprised. Not shocked. Just relieved. Like she already knew, but needed to hear it anyway. "How long?" she asked. Daniel hesitated, then exhaled. "Slowly, longer than I should have." A faint breath escaped her lips. And then something changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but enough to blur the lines that had kept them apart. She stepped even closer. Now there was no space left. All. Daniel could feel her breath. Hear it. Match it. "You're the only one who looks at me like that," she whispered, his brow furrowed slightly. "Like what?" "Like I'm not just..." She paused. "Untouchable." The word lingered in the air. Heavy. Because that's exactly what she had always been. Untouchable. Unreachable. Until now. Daniel swallowed. "You're not," he said quietly. Her eyes softened. "And that's what scares me," she admitted. For a moment everything slowed down. The rain, the noise, even their breathing, because this wasn't just attraction anymore. This was something deeper. Something neither of them had planned. Something that didn't follow rules. Elena lifted her hand slowly. Carefully. As if giving him time to stop her, but he didn't. Her fingers brushed lightly against his arm. And even that small touch felt electric. Real. Too real. Daniel closed his eyes for a brief second, trying to steady himself, trying to hold on to whatever control he had left. "Elena, this isn't..." he started, but she gently interrupted. "I know what it is." Her voice wasn't defensive. It wasn't reckless. It was certain. "And I know what it's not." He looked at her again. "What is it then?" She held his gaze. "It's honest." That word hit harder than anything else she had said, because she was right. There were no games here. No manipulation. No power. Just two people finally saying what they had been holding back. The tension between them didn't disappear. If anything, it deepened, but neither of them moved further. Neither of them crossed that final line. Not yet. Because sometimes the moment before something happens is more powerful than the moment itself. Elena slowly stepped back, just enough to create space again. But not distance. "I should sleep," she said softly. Daniel nodded. "Yeah, you should." But neither of them moved right away, because walking away now felt harder than staying. Finally, she turned, walked back to the bed and sat down. But before lying down, she looked at him again. "Don't disappear," she said. Not as a question this time. As a quiet truth. Daniel gave a small nod. "I won't." She held his gaze for a second longer, then slowly lay back. This time she didn't reach for his hand, but she didn't need to, because something else had already connected them. Something stronger. Something they couldn't ignore anymore. Daniel stayed where he was. Watching. Thinking. Trying to understand how one night had turned into something this complicated. This real, this dangerous. The storm outside finally began to calm, but inside that room nothing had settled, because now there were feelings Involved dot unspoken dot uncontrolled dot and impossible to take back dot. And as Daniel stood there, staring at the woman who had just changed everything, he realized something. Tonight wasn't the end of anything dot, it was just the beginning. And the next morning would test everything they had just felt. Morning came quietly dot, too quietly dot, no storm dot, no thunder dot, no chaos dot, just sunlight, slipping gently through the curtains like nothing had happened. But Daniel knew better, because everything had changed. He opened his eyes slowly, staring at the ceiling, his mind still stuck somewhere between last night and whatever this morning was about to bring. For a moment he thought it was all a dream. The rain dot, the silence, her voice, the way she looked at him, the way she said his name. Don't leave me. He sat up suddenly. His heart started racing again, because it wasn't a dream dot, it couldn't be. He could still feel it dot, every second, every word dot, every look. Daniel ran a hand through his hair and exhaled deeply, trying to steady himself. Okay. Think, he muttered. Dot. He had stayed. He had crossed a line, maybe not physically, but emotionally, and with someone like Elena? That line meant everything dot, work dot, reputation dot, his future dot, her world. All of it was now uncertain dot. He stood up, walking toward the small window of his apartment. The city looked normal. Cars moving, people walking, life continuing like nothing had shifted. But for him, nothing felt the same. He checked his phone dot, no messages dot, no calls, nothing from her. Strange feelings settled in his chest. Disappointment? Relief? Or something worse dash, uncertainty dot. Maybe she regretted it. Maybe she woke up, remembered everything, and decided it was a mistake, that this whatever this was couldn't exist. Daniel clenched his jaw slightly. That's better, he told himself. It has to be. But even as he said it, it didn't feel right dot, because if last night meant nothing, then why did it feel like everything? He walked into the kitchen, pouring himself a glass of water, trying to distract his thoughts, but it didn't work. Nothing worked, because his mind kept going back to her, the way she looked, without her guard up, the way she spoke, when she wasn't in control dot, the way she said, "You're the only one who sees me." That wasn't something you just forget. That wasn't something you walk away from. And yet, silence dot, complete silence. Daniel leaned against the counter, staring at nothing dot, until dash knock dot. The sound was soft, but sharp enough to cut through everything. He froze for a second. He didn't move, didn't breathe. Another knock dot this time. Slightly louder. His heart started pounding, because deep down he already knew. Slowly, he walked toward the door dot. Each step felt heavier than the last dot. His hand reached for the handle, paused, then finally he opened it, and everything stopped. She was standing there dot, Elena dot, but not the same. Elena dot, not the composed CEO dot, not the controlled, untouchable woman dot, no dot. This was someone else dot. Her hair was slightly messy, like she hadn't slept dot. Her outfit bold, elegant, effortlessly stunning, but it didn't carry the same confidence as usual, because her eyes were filled with tears, real ones dot, unhidden dot, uncontrolled dot. Daniel single quotes S. Chest tightened instantly. Elena? He said, barely above a whisper. For a moment, she didn't speak, just looked at him dot, like she was trying to find the right words, or maybe the courage to say them. Can I come in? She asked softly, her voice wasn't steady dot. Daniel stepped aside immediately. Yeah, of course. She walked in slowly dot, carefully dot, like even entering his space meant something more now. He closed the door behind her dot, and just like that, they were alone again. But this time, there was no rain dot, no night dot, no distance to hide behind. Just truth and whatever was about to be said. Elena stood in the middle of the room for a moment, then turned toward him. Her eyes met his, and for the first time since he had known her, she looked unsure. I didn't sleep, she said quietly. Daniel didn't respond. He didn't need to. He could see it. I tried to forget last night, she continued Dot, her voice trembling slightly, but I couldn't. Silence filled the space between them. Heavy. Unavoidable. Double quotes. I kept telling myself it was a mistake, she said, that I crossed a line that shouldn't have been crossed. Daniel felt his chest tighten again, because this was it. This was where she would pull back. Where she would fix everything, where she would become his boss again. And erase whatever they felt. But then she took a step toward him and everything shifted. But that's not the truth, she said. Her voice stronger now, more certain. The truth is, I didn't want to forget it. Daniel blinked, caught off guard. I didn't want it to disappear, she continued, her eyes locked onto his, because for the first time in a long time, she paused. Her voice softened again. It felt real. Those words, they hit harder than anything else, because that's exactly what he felt. Real. Not forced. Not imagined. Wrong. Just real. Elena took another step closer. Closing the distance between them again. But this time, there was no hesitation. No confusion. Just honesty. I've spent years building control, she said, over my life. My work, my emotions. Daniel listened carefully, because every word mattered now. And last night, she whispered, I lost it. He shook his head slightly. No, you didn't. She looked at him, confused. You just stopped? Pretending, he said quietly. That made her pause. Really pause, because deep down she knew he was right. Her expression softened and something in her eyes shifted again. Not fear, not doubt. Something else, something deeper. Daniel, she said softly, I don't know what this is. He exhaled slowly. Neither do I. Silence, but not uncomfortable. Just honest. I just know. She continued, that when I woke up this morning. Her voice cracked slightly. You were the first thing I thought about. Daniel's heart skipped, and the idea that you might walk away from this like it meant nothing. She looked down for a moment, then back up. That scared me. That word scared. It didn't belong to someone like her. And yet here it was. Real. Unfiltered. Daniel stepped closer now, not too close, but enough. I didn't walk away, he said. Quietly. Her eyes searched his. Not yet. A small, fragile silence followed. Then she asked the question that changed everything. What happens now? Daniel didn't answer right away, because there was no easy answer. No safe answer. Only truth, and truth was complicated. It's not simple, he said. She nodded. I know. This could ruin everything, he added. Her expression didn't change. I know that. 2. Another pause. Then, do you regret it? He asked. Her answer came instantly. No. No hesitation. No doubt. Just certainty. And you? She asked. Daniel looked at her. Really looked at her, and for the first time he didn't see his boss. He saw her, just her. No, he said, and that was it. That was the moment. The moment where everything became real. Where there was no going back. No pretending. No ignoring what they felt. Elena took one final step closer. Now. They were exactly where they had been last night. Close. Breathing the same air, feeling the same tension, but this time there was no uncertainty. Just choice, and she made hers. I don't want to stop this, she whispered. Daniel's heartbeat echoed in his ears. Neither do I. And just like that, everything changed again, not because something dramatic happened, but because they both said yes. To something unknown, something risky, something real. And as the morning light filled the room, it became clear this wasn't just a moment anymore. This was the beginning of something they might not be able to control. Some moments happen by accident, others, you walk straight into them, knowing exactly what you're doing that night. It wasn't chance. It wasn't coincidence. It was a choice, and both of them knew it. The city was alive. Again. Lights glowing, cars moving, music echoing faintly through the streets, but Daniel wasn't paying attention to any of it because his mind was focused on one thing Her? The message she sent earlier that evening was simple. No explanation. No overthinking, just an address. And a time. And somehow that said everything. Daniel stood outside. Her apartment door, same place. Same hallway. But it didn't feel the same last time. He carried her here tonight. He came on his own. His heart was pounding harder than he wanted to admit. Because tonight wasn't about helping her. It wasn't about responsibility. It was about something else, something they both agreed not to ignore anymore. He raised his hand. Knocked. Once. Twice. The door opened almost immediately, and for a second he forgot how to breathe. Elena stood there, completely different from the morning. Different from the office. Different from every version of her he had ever known. She looked intentional. Confident. But not distant. Her outfit, bold, elegant, effortlessly powerful, fit her like armor. But tonight it didn't feel like protection. It felt like expression, like she wasn't hiding anymore. You came, she said softly, not surprised. Just certain. Daniel let out a small breath. I couldn't stay away. The words came out before he could stop them, but instead of tension, they brought something else, a quiet understanding. Elena stepped aside. Come. And he walked in slowly. The door closed behind him, and just like that, the outside world disappeared. The apartment felt warmer tonight. Not physically, but emotionally. Lights dimmed just enough to soften everything. Music playing faintly in the background. And for the first time it didn't feel cold. It felt lived in. Real. Elena turned toward him. For a moment neither of them spoke, because sometimes silence says more. You look different, Daniel said finally. She tilted her head slightly. Different how? He hesitated. Because the truth wasn't simple, less guarded, he said, her expression softened. Maybe I'm tired of pretending, she replied. That answer felt heavier than expected, because it wasn't just about tonight. It was about everything she had been holding back. All this time. They moved to the living room. Sat across from each other at first. A safe distance, but even that felt temporary, like something neither of them believed in anymore. So, Elena said quietly, what are we doing? Daniel leaned back slightly. Honest question. No easy answer. I think we're trying to figure that out, he replied. She gave a small, thoughtful nod. I've spent my whole life planning things, she said. Every decision, every move. He listened carefully. And this? She looked at him. I didn't plan this. Daniel exhaled lightly. Neither did I. Another pause, but this one? Didn't feel uncertain. It felt like something building. Slowly. Naturally. Inevitably. Do you ever wish you hadn't met me? She asked suddenly. The question caught him off guard, but not enough to stop him. No. No hesitation? No doubt? Her eyes searched his. Even knowing what this could cost you? Daniel leaned forward slightly. Some things are worth the risk. That answer, it hit her. Deep. Because she wasn't used to that. People didn't choose risk for her. They avoided it, respected distance, followed rules. But Daniel, he was still here, and that meant something. The distance between them slowly disappeared. Not in a rush, not out of impulse, but because it felt natural, like they were both being pulled towards something neither of them wanted to fight anymore. They ended up sitting closer now, on the same side of the room. Same space. Same moment. And the tension? It didn't fade. It deepened. You make this hard, Elena whispered. Daniel gave a small, almost amused breath. I think it's already hard. She shook her head slightly. No. I mean harder to ignore. That honesty. Again. Unfiltered. Real. And impossible to push away. Tell me. Something, she said softly. Something no one else knows. Daniel raised an eyebrow slightly. That's a dangerous request. She gave the smallest hint of a smile. So is this. He thought for a moment, then answered, I'm not afraid of failure. He said. She listened closely. I'm afraid of never trying. That answer? It stayed in the air. Because it explained everything. Why he stayed that night. Why he opened the door that morning. Why he came here tonight. Elena looked at him differently now. Not as someone below her, not as someone temporary, but as someone real, equal. My turn, she said quietly. Daniel nodded. She took a breath. Then, I don't let people get close, she admitted. That's not new. He didn't interrupt. Because the closer they get, her voice softened, the more I have to lose. There. It was the truth behind everything. The reason she built walls, the reason she controlled everything, and the reason this felt so dangerous. Daniel looked at her. You're not the only one risking something, he said. She met his eyes. I know. The silence that followed was different. It wasn't hesitation anymore. It was understanding. Mutual. Clear. And in that moment, something shifted. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but enough to change everything. Elena's hand moved slightly, resting closer to his. Not touching, but close enough to feel. Daniel noticed. Of course he did. And this time he didn't pull away. He didn't hesitate. He moved his hand just enough until they touched. Lightly. Simply. But that touch, it carried everything. Every word. Every feeling. Every moment they had been building toward. Neither of them spoke because they didn't need to. Their hands stayed. They're connected. Grounded. Real. And for the first time there was no tension about whether something would happen. Only quiet acceptance that something already had. Elena looked at him. Her voice barely above a whisper. If we do this? She paused. We can't pretend it doesn't matter. Daniel nodded slowly. I wouldn't want to. That answer sealed it. Not with a dramatic moment. Not with a sudden decision, but with truth. Simple. Clear. Unavoidable. The hours passed. They talked. Laughed. Shared things they had never said out loud before, and somewhere between those conversations, between those quiet moments, between those looks that lasted just a second longer than they should, the line they had been standing on disappeared. Not crossed recklessly. Not broken. Just gone, because it no longer made sense to keep it. Later that night, they stood near the window, city lights stretching endlessly in front of them. World outside still moving, still unaware, but inside that room, everything had changed. You realize this complicates everything, Elena said softly. Daniel looked at her. Everything was already complicated. She gave a quiet breath. That doesn't make it easier. No, he agreed, but it makes it real. She turned slightly toward him. Closer, now. Comfortable. Natural. And for the first time, there was no hesitation in her eyes. No fear of being seen, because she already was, and she knew it. That night, they didn't make promises. They didn't define anything. They didn't try to control what this was, because some things don't need labels to exist. They just need honesty, and that's exactly what they had. But what neither of them realized was that choices like this, they don't stay hidden forever, and sooner or later reality catches up. And when it does, not everything survives. Some endings don't feel like endings. They feel like something unfinished, like a story that stopped right when it mattered most. And sometimes the hardest choices aren't between right and wrong. They're between two things that both mean everything. Weeks passed, but nothing about those weeks felt normal. Not for Daniel, and definitely not for Elena, because what started as a moment turned into something neither of them could ignore anymore. They didn't talk about it at work, didn't even look at each other the way they used to. Professional, controlled, distant, like strangers. But outside those office walls, everything changed. Every conversation felt deeper. Every silence felt louder. Every moment together felt like it mattered more than it should. And that was the problem. Daniel sat at his desk, staring at his screen, but he wasn't reading anything, because his mind wasn't there. It was with her. The late-night conversations. The quiet laughs. The way she looked at him when she wasn't trying to hide anything. It wasn't just attraction anymore. It wasn't just curiosity. It was something else. Something real. Something dangerous. "Elena wants to see you." The voice snapped him back. He looked up. One of the assistants stood by his desk, professional, neutral, but something about the way she said it felt different. "Now?" Daniel asked. Yes, his chest tightened slightly, because something about this felt off. The walk to her office felt longer than usual, each step heavier, each second louder, and when he finally reached the door, he paused. Just for a moment, because deep down he felt it. Something had changed. He knocked. "Come in." Her voice, calm, controlled, familiar, but distant. Daniel stepped inside, and immediately he knew. This wasn't the same Elena. She was sitting behind her desk. Perfect posture. Perfect expression. Everything exactly the way the world expected her to be. Cold, untouchable, like none of the nights they shared had ever happened. "Sit down, Daniel," her tone. Professional. Nothing more. He sat slowly, watching her carefully, waiting, trying to understand. She didn't look at him right away. Instead, she organized a few papers on her desk. Small movements, precise, controlled, like she was building a wall in real time. Then finally, she looked up. And when their eyes met, for just a second, he saw it. The same emotion. The same connection. Still there, but buried, hidden. "I've been offered a position," she said. Straightforward. No build-up. Overseas. The word hit harder than expected. Daniel didn't react immediately. Didn't interrupt. Because something told him there was more, and I accepted it. Silence. The kind that doesn't just fill a room. It crushes it. Daniel leaned back slightly, trying to process, trying to stay calm. "When?" he asked. "Soon," short answer, careful, measured. "And you weren't going to tell me?" He added, her jaw tightened slightly. "This is me telling you." That hurt. More than he expected. Because this wasn't how it was supposed to happen. Not after everything. "So that's it?" he asked quietly. Her expression didn't change. "That's the decision." Decision. Not conversation. Not discussion. Decision. Daniel let out a slow breath, trying to keep control. "Then what was all of this?" he asked. Her eyes flickered slightly. Just for a moment. But it was enough. Because she felt it too. But she didn't answer right away. And that silence said everything. "Was it nothing?" He pushed. This time her voice cracked. Just slightly. "It wasn't nothing." There it was, finally, real. "Then what is it?" Daniel asked. Because he needed to hear it. Needed something real to hold on to. Elena looked down for a moment, then back at him. And when she spoke, her voice wasn't the CEO anymore. It was her. It meant too much, those words. They hit harder than anything else she could have said, because they explained everything, and at the same time destroyed it. Daniel frowned slightly. "That doesn't make sense." She gave a small, broken breath. "It does to me." He leaned forward now, closer, more direct. "Then explain it, because walking away without understanding wasn't an option." Elena stood up slowly, moving away from the desk, dropping the professional barrier. Just slightly. "I built my life on control," she said, her back turned to him. "Every decision, every move, every risk." Daniel listened carefully, because this was the truth. "And then you happened," she continued, her voice softer now, "and for the first time, I didn't have control." She turned toward him, and her eyes, they weren't cold anymore. They were full, emotion, conflict, fear, all of it. "If I stay," she said quietly, "I lose everything I worked for." Daniel's chest tightened. "And if you go?" he asked. Her voice dropped to almost nothing. I lose you. Silence, heavy, unavoidable, because there it was. The choice, clear, brutal, real. Daniel stood up, slowly, walking toward her, closing the distance. Not all the way, but enough. You don't have to choose, he said. She shook her head. Yes, I do. Her eyes didn't leave his. Because I can't have both. That truth? It hurt, because deep down, he knew she was right. So this is it? He asked, not angry, not loud, just real. Elena didn't answer right away. Instead, she stepped closer, now standing right in front of him, the same place they had been before. But everything felt different now, heavier, final. She reached into her pocket slowly, pulled something out, and placed it in his hand. A key, simple, small, but meaningful. Daniel looked down at it, confused, then back at her. Elena, what is this? Her voice was soft, almost fragile. It's my new place. His breath caught. I don't expect you to come, she said quickly. And I don't expect you to wait. Her eyes filled slightly, but I needed to give you something real. Something that didn't disappear the moment I walk out that door. Daniel stared at the key, because it wasn't just a key. It was a question, a possibility, a future that might never happen. Why? He asked quietly. Her answer came without hesitation. Because what we had, she paused, fighting the emotion in her voice, was real. Silence filled the room one last time, but this time it didn't feel uncertain. It felt final. Elena took a step back, then another, creating distance again. Not because she wanted to, but because she had to. I should go, she said softly. Daniel didn't stop her, didn't move, didn't speak. Because some moments, you don't fight, you just feel them. She reached the door. Her hand touched the handle, but she didn't open it right away. Instead, she turned back one last time. Their eyes met. And in that look, everything was there. Every moment, every feeling, every truth they never fully said out loud. Then she opened the door and walked away. Just like that. Daniel stood there, still, silent, the key still in his hand. Minutes passed. Or maybe longer. He didn't know. Because his mind was stuck on one thing. Was this an ending? Or something else? He walked slowly toward the window, looking out at the city. Same view, same world, but everything felt different now. He looked down at the key again, turning it slightly in his fingers, thinking, wondering, questioning, because that key, it wasn't just access to a place. It was access to a choice. And the truth was, he didn't know what he was going to do. But one thing was certain. Some stories don't end when people walk away. They stay, they wait. They exist in the space between what was and what could still be. And somewhere out there, she was waiting too. Final ending line, powerful twist feel. He still holds the key. But even now, he doesn't know if it was meant to open a door or a part of his life he was never ready to leave behind. If this story touched you, if you felt every moment of it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me, should he go after her or let her go forever? Because sometimes the hardest stories are the ones we have to finish ourselves.